Hi all. Today we'll be chatting with Andre van der Berg, better known as Andre Technisch or Andre Technical. So Andre, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. So today we'll obviously be discussing more on the technical side of things, what you do, what your role is here. So can you just provide us with a glimpse of what do you do, what's your role at Harold's? That would be great. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Andre from Harold. So basically, my job role in this field is basically customer support, or end users, or let's say installers have problems on their sites or something like that. They call us. Basically, they speak to our technical team, but most of them will already have spoken to me or spoken to one of our team members.
Okay. During obviously the RMA processes and how they could log a ticket and that type
Correct,
of thing.
yes.
And we'll go into that a bit later.
Yes.
But yeah, so once again, we'll just be handling a few questions where I'm going to ask you a few questions. So first that we've got is, what are some common issues or failures that occur in solar PV systems? And how do you diagnose and repair them? So if you can take us through a step-by-step basic, what do you call it? Let's say a problem on a panel, or a problem on a battery, a problem on an inverter. If you can specify on each of those, that would be great.
Common issues, basically, it's quite difficult to say because there's so many problems that occur, not from, let's say, inverter side, let's say from installer side. It can be due to not designing the system right and using smaller batteries on bigger inverters, and basically the inverter the battery trips out, as it cannot handle the loads and stuff like that they need from the inverter. So the battery cannot handle the loads that the inverter is asking from the battery.
Okay, so and how do you, when let's say you go onto site, how do you diagnose and repair the battery, or do you do fault finding, or what's the process when you're on site?
Yeah, so fault finding on the battery itself, it shows you what the error is. So basically on the error, it will say where to begin. Let's say there's an over voltage, then basically you can go with seeing what is the charge amps or the charge voltages on the batteries, see what is set on the inverter itself. Then from there you can go down to the battery itself and see why is it showing an over voltage. Basically, if there's a problem with the battery, it will be a cell that's over for over voltage, and the same with the under voltage as well. Is that there's a cell maybe with especially with lithium batteries, their cells is balanced by a BMS and monitored by the BMS. So if there's one cell higher than the rest, it can give you an over voltage, and same with a lower battery cell.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice to hear. So let's go into the process then. As you said, so you're doing the fault finding on site and stuff. Obviously, some installers will be able to do that as well. Am I right?
Yeah.
So what's the process when they obviously now they know there's an error code, they can't repair it themselves. Obviously, they need to send it into Harold's for warranty repair.
Yeah.
Due to if they open it on site, that I've heard, then the warranty will be void.
Yes, correct.
So what are the processes, and what's the correct processes in logging a ticket that we know is online? So can you just take us through those steps and the different channels you can log the ticket?
Okay, so there's basically 4 main channels. You can use a WhatsApp number, you can email us, you can log a ticket with on site or on our website, or you can always give us a call, and then we can always log a ticket from our side for you.
Okay.
So when you've got a problem, you can call us directly, speak to us if there's a problem with it. Let's say there's a problem with the battery, the most common faults. There's a problem with the battery, and we can basically send you a unit that you can plug into the battery itself, plug it into your computer, and then through our remote support from our side, we can log into the computer and see what the battery does. What fault does it have? What is its history? And all that stuff that you need to find a fault on the battery.
Okay. Okay, so there's 4 different channels that
Four
you
different
can
channels.
log a ticket or log a,
Log a case.
a case. There,
Case,
that's the
yes.
right word. So, can you walk us through the process of troubleshooting a malfunctioning solar panel, or maybe rather an inverter or battery? Because I know you said it's difficult with a solar panel. Can you just elaborate on that?
It's quite difficult with a solar panel. Basically, if there's a solar panel that is faulty, then there's quite a few different, let's say, tests you need to do to find a fault on the solar panel itself. So if you see there's a let's say you string your voltages, let's say, argument's sake, 200 volts, and there's one panel that's maybe faulty and gives you 150, then you need to isolate that one panel. So from there on, let's say you've got a string of 4. Let's make it easy. A string of 4, and there's one panel of 4 that is faulty. Then you need to isolate all your panels, see what voltages they have. So basically, pick the panel up, put it in the sun, obviously, otherwise you won't get voltage. Put it in sun, take a multimeter on DC, test your voltages on the DC port or outputs on the panels, and see which one is it that is giving the fault. So if it's one that's giving you lower voltage, then it's going to be a faulty panel. So it can be due to a cracked cell, or it can be due to a trace in the cell or in the panel itself that is burnt or came loose, or it's diodes. That's a problem.
Okay. I've heard about obviously a panel that's fallen, also you can see the glass being cracked, but I've heard about micro cracks and something about hotspots. So can you just tell us more about hotspots and micro cracks?
Okay, micro cracks, it means that one cell, so the hotspots is caused by one cell that's over-functioning. It's functioning not as the same as the other, so it's getting more heated, hot than the others, and then it will cause a hotspot. It's difficult to see with a naked eye, but if you have an AR camera, then you can see what's going on the panels, and it will show you clearly on that cell which one is the hottest one.
Those thermo guns, am I right, that you can order from us?
From us.
Okay, great. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use that camera and see what panel is it that's giving that issue, and which cell is it that's giving that issue. So what can cause that hotspot is a micro crack, or it's a trace that's broken.
So you can't see it with the naked eye.
No.
You need one of those thermo cameras.
Yes. Unless it's burnt on the backside.
Obviously. So what safety precautions should end users or installers take when performing repairs on solar equipment?
End users should not do any repairs on a solar system. The best is to get your qualified solar installer to come check what's wrong with the site, and then the solar installer will then contact us if there's a big problem on site, if it's not something that he can fix on site itself.
Okay.
So safety precautions should be, if there's, let's say, maybe a loose wire or something like that, switch the system off, get your solar installer to come see what's going on there, so that they can basically isolate the problem, so that the end user is not in danger at all. Okay. Same with the home itself. So if there's a loose wire, it can cause let's say, a loose connection, can cause heating of breakers and stuff, and it can cause a breaker to, let's say, melt.
Okay.
And that can cause a fire risk on the premises itself, and it can cause a home to burn down.
So basically, the first thing you should do is call your installer. They will then advise you if you should switch the system off. Correct. And they'll lead you step by step how to do it.
Yes.
And to do it safely.
Yes.
Because obviously they've got the knowledge and stuff. So for end users, they should rather contact their installer that installed it, and then they will make contact with us. So we work then with the installers.
Yes,
through this process.
We only work directly with the installers. End users, they can call us for information, but we cannot troubleshoot his system for him.
Okay.
At this,
we need to work with the installer that obviously bought the products through us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can advise him on, let's say, on the system that he bought from, let's say, an installer. We can advise him, is it not to say it's the right product for him, but basically give him the knowledge on how the system works.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just basic knowledge, basic understanding of a system and
Yeah.
how it works. You
Yeah.
need inverters, batteries, panels, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So are there any preventative maintenance tasks that we can help extend the lifespan of solar equipment and minimize the need for repairs? I know with Solar Edge as an example, with the optimizers that they offer on solar panels, you know what the problem is beforehand.
Beforehand, yes.
So are there any other examples that you can give us?
So with solar panels, keep them washed. Otherwise, you won't get any production of your solar panels at all. So let's say once a month, go up to the roof, keep the panels clean, wash them with let's say a broom, a soft bristle broom, clean them with that. Just make sure all the dust is off. Then your production on the solar panel will be better as well.
Okay.
And it will then, let's say, minimize the risk of hotspots on the panel.
And obviously increase your return on investment.
Correct, yes.
Okay, great. So
And let's say on the inverters itself, also keep it clean once a month. Let's say switch down the whole system, blow it out for a short while, get all the dust out, because dust causes a inverter to be damaged as well.
not taking a hose pipe and washing it.
No, don't do that. So get all the dust out. Dust can conduct electricity if they're in fine, let's say, dust particles.
Okay.
They can conduct electricity, and it will cause inverter components to fail.
So Andre, your advice would be is to keep the inverter and battery probably dust-free?
Dust-free, yes.
Dust-free, and obviously just perform general maintenance on it. Probably contact your installer, ask for advice. They'll probably be able to provide that service as well.
Our services, the installers do offer a service for cleaning out inverters and components, and it should be included, not included, but basically it should be provided to the client that he knows there's a service available for that. It's the same with keeping your connections also tight, because after the heating and, let's say, the bimetals in the breakers itself, they heat up and cool down, and it will cause a screw to come loose or loosen in time.
No.
So every 6 months.
Just tighten it up. Obviously, it's not going to fall out.
No, it's not going to fall out, but it will eliminate a possibility for a hot connection.
Yeah, but that makes sense. I understand that. Okay, so how do you handle repairs for older type of inverters, or let's say discontinued inverters or solar products that may no longer be under warranty?
Well, we do support fixing inverters out of warranty stages.
Okay.
But it's quite difficult to get their spares. Let's say if it's discontinued, it's very difficult to get their spares. But if it's a product that, let's say, was bought, let's say 3 years back, it is possible to get a replacement board or something like that.
Part, something,
Yeah, so we can repair that, but it's going to be at a cost.
So, okay. So that makes sense, obviously. So same goes for the 4 channels that you log a ticket? Or
Precisely.
Exactly the same?
If it's an inverter out of warranty, let's say it's a job number that's created. So if it's a inverter under warranty or out of warranty, it should be logged on our website or be reported through that 4 channels.
You'll then make contact with the customer, informing them, yes, we can repair it, or no, unfortunately, we can't. Or yes, we can. Your estimated period that you'll wait is 2-3 weeks to get the parts in due to X, Y, and Z.
Correct, yes.
Okay, 100%. So obviously talking about 3-year warranty that may be encountered in some older products. Maybe you only have a year warranty or 2-year warranty. So obviously we sell products that have a warranty that are extended more than at least 5 years, up until 10 years if you combine battery and inverter. So just to put installers and maybe end users at ease, we obviously sell a product that has got a long warranty period. So is it a problem? Do people need to worry? Is it fine? So can you just elaborate on that?
So the best way is to buy a system that is well known. So let's say Victron. Victron is well known right through the whole world.
Okay.
So it's a very good brand because we can always get parts for that. Same with our products that we sell. We only sell well-known brands on our side.
Okay.
So it's very easy to get parts for them.
Okay, so you're talking about SunSync, SunGrow, Solar Edge, the whole lot. Everything that we sell, we obviously have got great warranties on that. We back the product, so every single person needs to back that product as well, because we back it.
Correct.
So that's basically what you're saying.
Yes, correct.
Perfect. Okay, so this may open a can of worms, but I get a lot of questions asking, especially installers asking, why do we sell inverters that work with all of these firmware, and the firmware needs to be updated every second week or month or 4 months?
That's not that is not something that should be done every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. The thing is, the firmware is only there for the inverter to work correctly. Okay. So if you install a system and the system works correctly, leave it. Don't update it. Let's say it's a battery and the battery is a bit old. We do get it.
Yeah.
Then you need to do an update on the battery itself. Same with the inverter. Let's say you've got an older inverter and you're putting a new inverter with it, let's say to parallel the system. Then you need to update the older one to the newest firmware, and the same with the new one you want to install on that site.
Okay. So I think there's a big misconception about a lot of installers are getting quite angry with updating firmware, or maybe just a bit frustrated is the better word.
Yeah, basically frustrated.
And a lot of them want to go to a product that doesn't have firmware that needs to be updated. But I mean, as you now said, there's a advantage in having firmware that can be updated.
Great.
So you would advise that the products that has got the firmware, you can update it, because obviously in the future, if you buy a new battery and it needs to be updated to a newer firmware, then you can do it.
Yes, you
but
can do
with batteries or inverters that can't upload firmware, you can't do it.
Yeah, you can't.
So there's a big benefit.
Correct, yes.
Okay, that's great. So just because that's a question I get asked quite a lot.
Yeah, so it's a big benefit to be able to update an inverter to be compatible with something else, or to unlock new, let's say, features on the machine itself.
Okay, so it's basically future-proof. If there's any developments, then you can do it.
Yes.
Whereas if you don't have that access, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So how do you stay updated with the latest developments and best practice in solar equipment repair and maintenance?
So to be updated, we are in close contact with our suppliers.
Okay.
So there is blog posts. You as end user or as installer can go onto their websites, go to their blog post. Most of their developments on the products itself, they do share stories on, let's say, if it's a good install, or let's say interesting facts about the inverter. They do have blog posts on to say what is happening on their side. They say, let's say there's a new feature, they do post it on the blog post. Same with email. If you on the app itself, they do send you an email to say, listen, there's a new feature that can be used on the inverter itself.
And what I've obviously seen in the shop is that you guys obviously receive a lot of demo units that you can test out. So you've obviously experienced on hand how some of the inverters, SunSync, new one, Sig Energy coming out. Yeah. So you've experienced these on hand.
So basically, it's very exciting if we do want to sell a product. We test the unit first before selling it to, let's say, as installer. Okay. We do test it, go through all its settings to get its know-how. on how it works and all that stuff, so that we can provide better support on that product.
Okay.
So that we do not stay in the dark of our own products.
100%. Okay, so you guys obviously update yourself, especially working on hand with the product, studying the spec sheet, studying the manual. Obviously, study the manual, read the manual, then throw it away, and just call technical.
Yeah.
It's obviously the easiest way.
It's the easiest way, but it's actually, to read the manual is actually the quickest way to get an answer.
100%. Well, Andre, so thank you for your time. Thank you for being here at Busy Working, and we appreciate it. So have a great one, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.